Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Coco. So Coco is the new film coming to us from Pixar, the animation studio behind such films as The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, some of the greatest animated films of all time. And it follows the story of a young Mexican boy named Miguel who is dealing with the fact that he has to go into shoe cobbling when he's older because he has dreams of becoming a musician because musicianship is what he believes belongs to him and what he believes he's meant for. However, his family completely banned music due to something awful that happened related to the family with music about 4 or 5 generations ago. And because that music is completely banned from the house, they only make shoes ever. And he decides to sneak into a place and steal a guitar, and when doing so, suddenly he's transported to the land of the dead, and he has to try to make it back in time. And the movie is about him dealing with issues related to his passions, dealing with issues related to his family, and it's all in all a story of a young boy's discovery of who he is, who he should be, and who he wants to be. Coco was not a movie I was necessarily super excited for. The main issue was the marketing, which I don't know, the marketing just never really did it for me. The trailers were the type of trailers that gave away absolutely nothing about the story. They only showed cool images and then hoped that would draw you in, and I hate it when movies do that. Justice League did that. What else? The Force Awakens, that's the one exception I'll give. But a few other movies have done that, and it's really, I just don't like that. I like to know a basic frame of what the movie is. Just a basis, so that I can understand what goes on when I go in, and I'm not just completely surprised with the story for the first time. However, reviews started coming out for Coco, and they were all overwhelmingly positive. They were calling it creative, imaginative, beautiful with the animation and everything. This movie was getting some really, really high praise. Some were calling it one of Pixar's best. So I went into Coco really excited. Well, weird excitement because I wasn't sure because the trailers were weak, but I was happy about the fact that it got such great reviews. And I came out saying that I really loved Coco. I think this is probably Pixar's best since Inside Out, which isn't saying much, but other than Inside Out, I'd say it's their best since Ratatouille, because this movie is exceptional. It is beautifully animated, it is thematically rich, it is emotional, and it is great for both kids and adults to enjoy. Before the film started, they showed this really brief clip where they basically ran down how they came about the city that's in Coco, how they went by layer by layer by layer, and it got really meticulous and really hard to craft. And it shows how hard work and dedication and lots of time really pays off for animated movies, because this is honestly some of the best animation I have seen in a really, really long time. Possibly the best animation I've seen in a movie. It is just absolutely stunning. The colors, when you get the perspective of the city, are just so rich and gorgeous that I was in awe just staring at it. And then every other scene from there on out was just coded so correctly with colors, and the animation was so photorealistic in certain situations, and the animation style was so strong that I was just in awe at so many shots in this movie, especially the hair. I'm kind of concerned with how good the hair is looking, because everybody's hair, but especially Coco, who's the old grandma, it all looks photorealistic, and that can be a bit jarring when you look at the clearly animated characters and you see hair that's just overly realistic. But the way that they meticulously craft everything so that it moves with such ease and fluidity is honestly just shocking and extremely inspiring. But animation is not the only thing Coco masters. This movie, at its heart, is so emotional and rich that I was enjoying every single second of it. The movie started out sort of by just giving you easy entertainment, where there was nothing too big with it, but as the movie progressed and as you got more into it and you understood the characters more and you understood the motivations, you started to like the movie a lot more. This movie is so much more than surface level. It is complex in so many ways, place. The storyline just has so many twists and turns that are all justified and all serve the story very, very well, yet are all shocking at the same time. So many of the story points and character arcs can come out of nowhere, and at first you're sort of shocked by them. You're not sure if it will apply to the story well, but by the end of the movie you understand the cause for each and every subplot, and it makes the film just feel so satisfying to watch and so overall entertaining. That is something this movie masters really, really well. It is so extremely entertaining. It will entertain both little kids going to see the movie and older adults, and on both levels it will just thoroughly entertain. It is a great family movie, and I can't recommend it anymore because it never really condescends to the kids. That's something that Pixar movies do really, really well. They never condescend to the children that they're marketing towards. Rather than giving them simplistic animation and really simple themes and lots of fart jokes, it will have complex jokes, and it will have emotion that maybe the kids won't get at first, but they'll be entertained by it, and as they grow up, they'll enjoy it more and more. And at the same time, while they're a little kid, they're still being entertained, and their mind is working while watching it. Pixar movies are so important in growth and development of kids in the United States at this point, which is actually kind of a weird thing to say, that psychologically Pixar films have been ingrained into many child's minds, but it's just a fact. So many of them have helped a lot of kids come of age. For me, it was Inside Out was that big movie. It came out in 2015 and stood for a big symbol for me. And the thing is, that movie isn't necessarily story-wise, it isn't very complex or layered, but the thing is, it is very emotional, and it gives you something that you can think about very often. Even today, I'll think about the 5 islands, or I'll think about happiness or sadness, or the multiple emotions and which one is going in the forefront. And because of that, Inside Out stood for something that was very memorable and stuck with me for a long time. However, you can't really say the same about Coco. While the movie masters practically every single element it could, being as entertaining as possible, as rich as possible, as beautifully animated as possible, it doesn't really have that thing that will really make it stick to you. And beyond that, Coco is basically a flawless movie. It's just so emotionally strong. I've overused that term, but it really is. It's just so strong in structure and emotion. It is just such a well-crafted kids movie, yet at the same time, there's nothing about it that really stands out as huge or important to me, or really nothing that will make it stick with me for too long of a time. For that, I will give Coco an 8.5 out of 10. By far, easily, this year's best animated movie. This has been a drought for animated films. Even Pixar has come out with Cars 3, and there hasn't been a single Disney movie this year, and all the other DreamWorks and the lesser stuff like Boss Baby or the Emoji Movie, it's all just been the worst of the worst, bottom of the barrel. So I'm really glad that we got such a beautiful animated film to come out at this time. But anyway, thank you for watching my review for Coco. What are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of Pixar as a movie studio? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.